Okay, so this is actually important, very, very important today. Let's get started. The new moon. What is a new moon? Well, new moons are one of the most powerful events that can happen to us. They are a time of reboot, new beginning, fresh starts. So they happen in the context of a wider lunar cycle, which we all know, but just briefly. So the lunar cycle starts at the new moon. So this is the start of a new 4-week cycle. So, and we're going to go through, we're going to grow and wane just like the moon in terms of what we plan to do in this month. So right now is the time of setting intentions, allowing the unconscious wishes and desires that you have to come to the surface. And this month it's especially important to just let go of control, because we want the universe and the unconscious to support us in this new beginning. And then in 2 weeks' time, there will be a full moon in Libra, interestingly, and we'll talk about this later. And that was going to be like a culmination. We're going to see the results of whatever intentions we set today and during the next couple of days. And then after that, the energy starts waning. So it becomes less and less. We start thinking, oh, did that work well for me? Do I need to course correct? What do I need to do? And then there's a time, especially 3 days before the next new moon, when we just decide, okay, I'm letting go. I'm not taking this forward. It's not working for me. It's not right for me. Maybe I need to tweak it. So it worked partially and I need to tweak it. Or just let it go completely and start afresh at the next new moon. Now, usually the intentions we set now will come to fruition fully within 6 months. So after 2 weeks, you start seeing how it's going and if it's worth pursuing. And then after 6 months, there is a full moon exactly where this new moon was. So it's like, it really shows how far we've got with this energy that we've got today. So make a note of what you're trying to achieve, and let's talk again in 6 months' time and see how we did. Now, I do really hope that you continue communicating with me throughout this. I may not see your questions immediately, but I have a glamorous assistant, my name is Sarah, who's helping us. And so at some point she will wave at me and she will say, let's look at some questions. There is also the option of you asking questions at the end. Look, I'm going to send you a link and you can actually join me on screen if you want to, or just in audio, so you can ask the question, in a more natural way rather than just typing it down. And another thing that I want us to do today, since we are here, is let's write down in the comments what our intention for the month ahead is, so that we release the intention into the ether, and the universe can take care of that as well. It's another way of helping this intention come to fruition. So we can do that, and we can do that later, a little bit later. All right, so Pisces. Now, if we have any Pisces energy here, you will know that it is, this is an archetype, an energy that is very, very selfless. All of the Pisces I know, whether it's the sun, the moon, or whatever, they have this ability to love unconditionally and to also sacrifice themselves. They just put others first in this endless ocean of love that they have. And it's always, they'll do anything for the other person. It's a very intuitive sign. It's very dreamy. And it is the ultimate sign of forgiveness. It's the sign of letting go, which is the same thing, really. It's very common in some, whether it's the sun, the star sign, or whether it's a particular aspect in their chart. It's, all of the greatest artists in the world have got some strong Piscean or Neptunian element in their chart. And not just artists, we've got poets, idealists, we've got con artists as well. You cannot be good, right? I've told you, I warned you in the past, there is no perfection. There's always the shadow side and the good side in everything. It is the sign of healers as well, and of therapists. And also it's connected, it's linked to genius, because there's this vast pool of intuition that they can tap into, and it allows them to see things that others just don't see. For example, Leonardo da Vinci, he had Neptune right on DMC, and many other people as well, like that, very famous people. But let's keep going and talking about Pisces a little bit more. So another thing that Pisces is notorious for is that it's hopelessly romantic. Love is everything. And, it's to the extent that they tend to idealize people too much. So, and they tend to be attracted to projects. So people who are wounded and need saving. So there's a little bit of the savior and martyr dynamic going on here. So Pisces steps in and decides to save this person. And this person then ends up being either saved and wonderful, it's possible, or sometimes it could be like, it could not be a toxic relationship because maybe this person cannot or doesn't want to be saved. And this, this unfortunately hits Pisceans very, very hard. And Pisceans feel emotions very intensely. They tend to be overcome with waves or tsunamis of emotion. And so, it's very easy for a Piscean to feel despair, heartbreak, to lose themselves in something, to cry all night long, to cry just when they hear a song or read a poem or whatever. And also, on the other hand, they may try to escape from reality because they got such a sensitive soul that this reality around us, the people in this world, may come across as being incredibly harsh, coarse. It's a bit too much for Pisceans' delicacy and sensitivity in the world. So it's very easy for a Piscean to escape into some kind of addictive behavior. This could be, I don't know, drinking too much, or it could be drugs as well. When this is the shadow side, when there's, a sense of deep loss, of irretrievable loss. And then, who has had an experience of this incredible creativity and imagination that Pisceans have, and dreaminess, and at the same time, this tendency that Pisceans have in the, because they live in this different dimension, really. And how many times do they lose sight of deadlines or appointments or, whatever it is that they need to do? It's like Pisceans live outside of time and space. It's a different dimension. And this kind of vagueness and elusiveness and so on drives Saturnian types crazy. So there's a bit of friction there sometimes. But now, let me know if you've had any experience like this, if you're a Piscean or if you have any Pisces and you find that time is a relative concept, for example. Let us know in the comments. Now, what's interesting to know about Pisces and the new moon is that, normally new moons are about new beginning, fresh new beginning, new energy, getting really excited, moving forward, planning for the future. However, Pisces is the last sign in the zodiac. And, there's a school of thought that says that basically each sign learns and absorbs from the experience of the preceding sign, or in fact, the preceding signs, all the ones that have come before. So for Pisces, this means all the previous 11 signs get merged into Pisces. And at this point, the experience, the human experience, is ready for reaching out beyond the human limitations, but also it's ready to, it's ready for closure and dissolution. It's ready to surrender because the cycle is ended or is ending, and it's time to start again then with Aries and the new beginnings and the new excitement and the new innocence that comes with the 0-degree Aries. And so this new moon, I'm sure that you will have experienced it a little bit, with a little bit of sadness, a little bit sense of loss, a lot of emotion coming up. And, you felt like you've been swimming against current. Who has felt that? My goodness, the last few weeks have been so hard. It's been really incredibly hard. But now we have to accept that the wheel has come full circle, pretty literally, and that we are now letting go of what has come, or what has come before, and we are preparing for a brand new adventure, human adventure. Now, we have an incredible setup in the sky for this new moon. We have Venus, the planet of love, and of a number of other things. We have Neptune right next to it. In fact, Venus and Neptune will be exactly conjoined in just a few hours. And then we've got Pluto, which is supportive as well of this new moon, and we'll talk about how. And we also have the lunar nodes, these karmic points in astrology and in your chart are actually at odds with this new moon. So there's a karmic lesson that we also need to absorb this time. Now, as far as Venus is concerned, because we've got Venus and Neptune here, both interested in love, although of different types, this new cycle, this new lunar cycle, or the next 4 weeks, are all about relationships. And, as we said, there's going to be a full moon in Libra in only 2 weeks' time. Again, when you got a full moon, usually it's relationships. When it's in Libra, double whammy. And with what's happening right now with Venus and Neptune. So this is absolutely about relationships. Now, Venus is about relationships, is about love, is about what we like, what we dislike, what we value, what we attract, what we repel, what we desire. But it's also about the relationship we have with ourselves. We often neglect that, but it's a very important part of our human experience. And how many people do suffer from maybe self-esteem, lack of self-esteem or self-worth? And this is because of the way we see ourselves. It's because of the relationship we have with ourselves. So this new moon is going to be about how do we see ourselves, if not the other person? And are we doing what is right by us? Are we being authentic? Are we taking care of ourselves as well? Or are we putting other people first, which is always a risk with Pisces? And Neptune in this context is also about a lot of beautiful things like transcendence, mysticism, spirituality, art, creativity, but also illusion, self-delusion, deceit, secrets, chaos, and despair that we've kind of hinted at before. So having these two energies together indicate that relationships right now are what our heart is craving for. And this could be, we crave clarity in this sphere, in our heart. But there's a lot of fog. Neptune brings fog. There's disorientation. And there's all of these emotions that are coming to the surface. And if really struggle to distinguish what are our feelings, what are the feelings of others. And we experience this sense of hopelessness, a sense of loss, of nostalgia. And is like in the journey of our soul and in this lifetime. So it's an interesting combination. Now Pluto is also involved. It's in a supportive aspect from Capricorn. And what Pluto does in this new moon and in general is Pluto help us go deep into our soul, help us look into the darkest recesses of our soul that we normally don't like to visit. And then when he finds something that is rotten, that's the purge. Pluto helps us be ruthless in getting rid of what is not working to our favor. So this is what's happening. Pluto is helping in this process, is there to make us ruthless about letting go of something that isn't working for us anymore. Remember, what is reborn or what is born must die first. This is the Pluto lesson. We have to go through this process of transformation to be able to rise up from the ashes. Now, let's assess a little bit what Pluto in relation to each of the planets involved in Pisces can indicate. So first and foremost, the moon, the fastest planet. It's not a planet technically, but we call it that in astrology. So the moon is our soul, if you like, our intuition, our deeper emotions, the little child in us, all of these, emotion and the emotional being, feeling that we have. And so with Pluto involved with the moon, we can go deep and actually become aware of the subtext of all of our experiences. So what is this emotion really, really about? This is what Pluto is helping us with. When it touches the sun, which obviously is at the same time, because a new moon is a combination of sun and moon together, then Pluto supports us in taking ruthless steps forward to basically do what is right by us, taking action and helping us bolster our sense of self, be ourselves, be more authentic, and express ourselves more authentically and uniquely. Now, when Venus and Pluto come together in some kind of alignment in the sky, then our relationships become more intense. There's a deepening of the connection. And we want to get to know each other more deeply, more profoundly. It's at soul level. It's very absolute as a connection. It's about undying love and passion and obsession as well. And Neptune-Pluto is actually a generational aspect. It's been ongoing since the 50s. So we're not going to focus on that too much. We just know that, it's got to do with the incredible interest that this society has for psychology, the unconscious, spirituality, mysticism, astrology. All of this comes under this aspect between these two outer planets. So what is the challenge then with this? As I mentioned earlier, there's an aspect to the lunar nodes. Now, the lunar nodes are karmic points in astrology. So there's the South Node that looks back at the past. It looks back at possibly past lives. It looks back at our habits, our self-sabotage, our self-defeating behaviors, self-defeating beliefs, especially now that it's in Sagittarius. And the North Node is the one that looks forward, is the one that's often, more likely than not, we are more uncomfortable embracing because it's a little bit different. So it's not like the home feeling that we have in the South Node. It's what we need to move toward. And it's in Gemini at the moment. So with the new moon happening at odds with the lunar nodes, we're being asked to revisit some karmic patterns that have shaped and are continuing to shape our lives today. So because it's Sagittarius and Gemini that the nodes are in right now, we need to ask ourselves a series of questions that will help us actually progress much, much faster than not. So is there a dogmatic belief? Is this some entrenched belief that you haven't questioned, that you're holding on to, and it actually is not helping you anymore, that is holding you back? Are you living your own truth, or are you living someone else's vision of what your life should be like? And what childhood messaging, what have people told you in the past that has stuck and has actually kind of like made you, follow certain paths, make certain choices that are not in line with who you truly are, your authentic self? And also, what outdated mental structures? Do you have some kind of like ways of doing things, ways of thinking, ways of explaining things that actually, again, hold you back or bring you sorrow, dissatisfaction? And also, quite simply going back to what we're saying, what toxic relationships in your life? This could be any type of relationship. It could be, family, it could be partner, it could be friendship, it could be colleagues, it could be anything. What toxic relationship is it time to let go of now for you to be able to be your most authentic self? And the important thing is to realize that Pisces wants us to let go of all these structures and constructs that do not help us, because ultimately, the truth is within us, not outside of us. The truth is our own inner reality. And then also, as a mutable sign, possibly the most mutable of all the signs, Pisces knows deep down that nothing is certain, that nothing is unchangeable, that nothing is immovable. Everything is in constant flow and evolution. And in fact, there is no point in trying to control this evolution because the universe takes care of it. Wherever we're going, we're just going, regardless of what we do. This is the Piscean mentality. Does it resonate? Do you agree with this? Let us know in the comments. And the ultimate and most important lesson of Pisces, Venus, and Neptune that I think we forget too often is that we are beings of love. Love is the start and the end of everything. Love is where we came from. Then we go through this life with all the challenges and we forget about it, but we will go back to love again. So Pisces says, just embrace that. Remember that. Don't forget it. So yes, this new moon in Pisces is a slightly different new moon because of all of these elements coming together. It is time to turn a corner, like with every new moon, but we can't see which way to go yet. There is a lot of confusion. We feel disoriented. We feel doomed, lost. We feel overrun with emotions, and perhaps we feel like things that matter to us, they don't matter anymore. We don't know what has meaning, what has purpose. And perhaps, you know, we feel like we're really not getting anywhere, we have no control over our lives, and that what we've been doing is pointless. What are we being asked to do? What does the universe want us to do? Trust the process. This is part of the human experience. This is part of reaching the next level. So yes, you need to go through this. You need to acknowledge your emotional life. That's very important, because until now, it's all been so harsh. You know, we had the Capricorn year last year, the year that where everything stopped. It doesn't become more Saturnian than that. Stop. No. Then we've had Aquarius season. And again, it's quite, you know, it's, although it's a sign that looks to the future and it's very progressive, there is a certain rigidity in the ideology, in the approach, in the way of thinking. And so that we continue to be on edge. I certainly did. Who felt on edge all of the last few weeks? And and with this Pisces, I felt like a release. It's been a release, you know, like softening. But it hasn't come with just happy-go-lucky energy, you know, because these emotions that have bubbled up, you know, we are processing whatever has happened to us over the last, 12 months. And it's been quite a year. And it's not, and it's not like the situation has changed dramatically yet. So a lot of processing going on right now. So trust the process and listen to your intuition, let go of control, and just trust that, as somebody says, the universe has your back. Okay, so now I mentioned earlier that it would be good, it would be great if you could write your intention for the month in the comments. So we send it out. You can be specific or just vague, whatever it is, but just an intention, and then add or something better at the end. And then we send it out into the ether so that, hopefully this helps with manifestation later on. Now, if you haven't done it already, I would suggest that you kind of sit with yourself. It could be, it could be sitting down. It could be like on the beach. It could be on the grass. It could be in bed. It could be wherever you can just relax and let go and breathe, and allow the universe energy to just join you and reach your heart space. And now visualize and feel the person that you want to become, feel the change that you need, and set the intention that you're going to be that person. I am this person. I am the kind of person who, or something better. This would be an ideal way of formulating this, because if you formulate it in such a way that it's already happened, that you are already there, then everything falls into place more easily, according to some schools of thought. Also, feeling the emotions. So setting intention is the number one thing. Feeling the emotions is the number two thing. That's really important to make it feel real. And feeling gratitude for this person that you are now, this new person that you are. This heals and comforts, and some say attracts love and success and all the good things in life. Write it down, use it as, I suppose, for planning your next steps. So, because if you say, if I am the kind of person who does X, Y, Z, then this person will take this step next. So use it in your mind to help you plan your next step and the future. Act as if it's already happened. Let go of control, and that's why you add or something better at the end, because you don't know, the universe might be giving you a fantastic gift that goes beyond your expectations. And then let the universe work its magic. This is how I would work with the new moon. Now, any questions so far before we go through the tips by sign for this new moon? Sarah, do we have any questions? No. Okay. And just a reminder that if you would like to ask me, to actually converse with me, during this live event, we have got a link that we can send you, and you can accept, you know, to allow the microphone. If you want to appear on video, allow the video camera too, and then you will be shown temporarily while we have this conversation, and then you can come out again. But so let us know, and Sarah will send you the link. Okay, so let's see how each sign can benefit from this lunation, from this new cycle that started a few hours ago, and you know, and avoid some pitfalls that are possible with Neptune involved. Okay, so I think this is a bit of okay. This is just if you want to see. I mean, basically, the ideal scenario is you know what your ascendant or rising sign is, and then based on that, I will give you some suggestions for the next 4 weeks. And so, you know, I'm not going to read this, but we're just going to go straight into Aries and some tips for Aries. So for Aries, this is all happening in the 12th house of your horoscope. And so this tells us that your intuition is off the scale at the moment. You may be getting vivid dreams, premonitions, inner knowing, gut feeling, all sorts of things like that are happening right now or started happening and will continue for the next 4 weeks. So this is the perfect time for you to actually sit back, focus on your inner life, because you need to understand your emotions, where all of this is coming from, heal your wounds and recharge, because there's going to be a lot of excitement coming up very, very soon. Now, so this could be also the perfect time for you to maybe to start therapy or some other kind of, you know, help, a professional help. Simply introspection if you want to do it alone, and Aries always does. And also it's great time to deal with any kind of suppressed emotions until now that are bubbling up, and they are quite overwhelming. Now, so another thing to do is watch out for increased sensitivity to pretty much everything, to be honest. That could be chemicals, drugs, food, makeup, all possible allergens like pollen. Like I'm suffering with allergies like, you know, never before. And this is all unfortunately highlighted during this 4 week period for you, and for me, Libra, the other end. Also watch out for escapist tendencies. So you're going to probably, you know, want to just forget things or have fun, because it's also hard and difficult, and it is. And so, you know, watch out for excessive consumption of alcohol, drugs, or it could be sex as an excuse, or any other kind of addictive behavior that actually is self-sabotaging. Taurus, for you, this is all happening in the 11th house of the future and of your network as well. So with Neptune there, and Neptune has been there for a while, to be honest. So it's Neptune takes about 14 years in a sign, and it started in 2011, I think. So it's going to be there until 2025. Now, with Neptune there, I'm sure that you're having this, like, you know, probably proper visions of the future, like vision that hit you out of nowhere. And you're thinking, that's great, but how do I get there? So there's a bit of confusion. You don't really know what to do and how to get there. And so the tip here is trust your intuition. Don't try to control it. This is difficult for Taurians. But it's important with Neptune there, with this new moon there, it's important to let intuition do its work its magic. So you will get some really good insights if you do that. Also, this could be a time in which maybe you choose to either join a new group. This could be anything. It could be, you know, it could be like a volleyball team, or it could be like a music band. It could be, I don't know, a debate society. It could be, you know, anything, you know, a political party. Just a group, or it could be like an astrological association, for example. So it's probably a good time to start. Or it's possible that your old friends, your old network is just not cutting it anymore. And so you're realizing that, it's time to drop a few people, and focus on connections that are actually helpful, that help you move forward, that help you grow, and potentially reach that wonderful new future that you can see in your visions. And again, trust your intuition. Your intuition is super strong. So if you get a bad feeling about somebody, it's probably true. So, it's possible people are out there trying to take advantage of you. So be ruthless. Use that Pluto for, to be ruthless and let people go. You're also keen at this time, you've been keen for a while to actually make a real difference in the world. And so it's likely that you've had a desire to do something good for society. It could be the environment, it could be helping others, it could be helping during the pandemic. There's so much that the world needs help with, but you need to make sure that you set your boundaries, because with Neptune, there are no boundaries. Everything, all boundaries, all structures get dissolved, and so you can either end up giving too much of yourself, or people end up taking advantage of you, and you don't want either thing, because otherwise you stress out, you drain yourself, or you feel resentful. So sometimes a few boundaries, well-placed boundaries, are a good thing. Gemini, this is happening in your 10th house, so this is huge for you. The 10th house is that house of ambition, career, your place in the world, your visibility in the world, your recognition in the world, an acknowledgement of your genius. So this is undergoing some dramatic change, but it's also possible that there's something that you can't quite place your finger on that's happening in the sphere of life. So at work, maybe there's some hidden agenda that you're unable to kind of cut through. So again, Neptune is here to remind us to get in touch with our instincts and to let them guide us. So your intuition can guide you on the right path, can indicate what to focus on for optimum results in your career, and also can help you lead a more authentic public life. Who to trust, who not to trust, doing something that your soul wishes to contribute to the world, following that dream, that vision. What do you want to be known in the world for? And so this is the time for you to start thinking and feeling these changes that are upon you. So another good thing could be maybe starting something new that is very Neptunian. So it could be a career in the spiritual realm, healing, or something artistic and creative as well. Or it could be, Neptune also rules like big pharma, oil and gas, and in general, all of the healing professions. But for sure, this is a very creative time for you. Maybe too creative, too much inspiration, and too little structure. So make sure you're grounded, and make sure you put checkpoints. It could be external, it could be other people in place to help you along this path. And of course, this applies, to all the signs. If any of this resonates, if any of this is actually happening to you, do put it in the comment. I'd like to hear that, and let me know absolutely what sign that would be for you. So what your ascendant or sun sign is. Now for Cancerians, this is happening in the beautiful 9th house of journeys, of higher learning, of spiritual journeys, of religion, of beliefs, of the set of beliefs that you have that lead, that allow you to lead your life in a certain way. So for you, I think that there's an urge to embrace more spirituality or more creativity, something more artistic, and certainly to embrace kind of this higher learning and deep introspection with gusto in your life. But you can have difficulty focusing with Neptune there. You know, it's like, oh, okay, I want to get lost in all these beautiful thoughts and the beautiful beliefs and principles and the religion and spirit and so on. But if it's something like tedious and mundane, meaningless, maybe you really struggle to focus at this time. So if that's the case, and you do have to complete this course of study, you know, and it's a must, then allow plenty of time and make sure that you have lots of breaks as well. Maybe work with a friend if possible, you know, with somebody else, so that you can, you know, find an accountability partner essentially that may help you, so that you can, you know, kept on track essentially. If you've got a deadline, you know, if you absolutely must do this. Also, be very careful, because with Neptune there, it's possible that, you know, you encounter somebody whose beliefs or charisma or, you know, the spirituality, whatever it is, you know, that seems incredibly good. And you're kind of prepared, like Cancerians, you know, also are another sign that love very, very intensely and unconditionally when they allow somebody within their world. And so be careful who you let in, because it is possible that, you know, you are more exposed to some kind of deceptive people, potentially. So if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So be careful. Just be, you know, lead yourself and trust your gut instincts again. And I know you're good at that, because Cancerians have got this incredible intuition. I think they've got proper sixth sense. You know, they always know what's going on without uttering, without words. Another good thing about this placement is that it's likely that you have, you know, you'll be more in touch with, over the next few weeks, with people from foreign lands or foreign cultures, alternative cultures, and this will open up your mind, which will be fantastic. The tip here is, if you have to travel, if you can, choose a place near water, because Neptune and Pisces all represent water, of course. And also, because there's this like confusion and so on, make sure that you know your travel schedule, where you go, you know, print things out, whatever it is that you need to avoid trouble getting there, and so on. So I hope this helps. Leo, for Leo, this is happening in the 8th house. I mean, I'm talking Leo as a star sign, or Leo ascendant, or Leo moon, potentially, since this is a new moon. So 8th house, the house of transformation, of introspection. You could argue a little bit of, you know, anxious introspection, and also of joint finances, of things like pensions, tax, loans, mortgages, money that we can't control, you know, that is outside of our control. So what this new moon is telling us, and Neptune in there, and also Venus, because Venus also is about finance. So make sure that you stay on top of your finances. Don't trust anybody, really, because unfortunately with Neptune there is the possibility of being taken advantage of. So also investing right now, next 4 weeks, probably not a good idea. Just be very cautious, very responsible when it comes to joint finances specifically. When it comes to introspection, then you know, this is with this new moon here, it's possible that this month ahead you will have this tsunami of emotions coming to the surface. So you will have dark fears, deep emotions, and issues of power and control as well. You know, feeling powerless, feeling, you know, the desire to feel more control. All of this is going to bubble up from the depth for you. So this could be a great time for you to take all of this and empower yourself, you know, because the more you know yourself, the more you know your limitations, your fears, the more you know about how to lead your life in line with that. So develop your spiritual side, become passionate about your inner life, and forge a deeper connection with your, you know, with your true inner self. So this is about being utterly honest with yourself. Don't lie with yourself. this is the risk with Neptune there. You've got to be ruthlessly honest about your feelings. And again, this also applies, because this is also the house of emotional connection with one particular other. And so it's important right now, it's a good time to try and build a spiritual connection, and but without trying to project or pretend that it's there when it isn't, because the one cannot come along 10 times, as they say. So it's, be cautious. It's a time of being cautious. Be cautious on all fronts, because you're a little bit more vulnerable this month. Virgo, or Virgo rising, or Virgo moon. It's all happening in the 7th house of relationship, partnerships, and contracts. So this means that you are letting go of maybe an old relationship or partnership, and a new one is on the horizon, or a new contract may be needed. Now, with Neptune there, I would say, and Venus as well, try not to look at people and situations with rose-tinted glasses, because you have to maintain your own power. You have the tendency right now to idealize them, potentially also to be taken advantage of, or to be taken for granted. That's always a risk with Virgo. So manage your own expectations about the type of relationship that is possible with this other person. And if you do tend to be disappointed again and again, then maybe this is your cue that, okay, maybe I'm not being realistic about this person or what we can achieve together. Listen to your intuition, because the intuition is super strong right now when it comes to relationship. And if it tells you to run. So remove emotional blocks, because when you work on yourself, then you attract better people into your life as well. Libra, and Libra rising, or Libra moon, which means me 3 times. So this is this is all happening in the 6th house of service, of work, of daily routine, of daily habits, of health, of colleagues, and so on, and pets as well. Sorry. So this is the time to look after your well-being, whether it's physical, so go and see a doctor, go and see a specialist, go and see, I don't know, the acupuncturist, whoever it is that you rely on, go and see them, because it's a good beginning for taking care of your body and your mind as well, because there's a lot of stress. There's been a lot of stress. Well, when did it start? I can't even remember when it started. And so this could be the perfect time for you to build a new routine for yourself. It could be a fitness regime, for example, or just doing some regular stretching, regular flexibility, whatever. Apologies. And so, and as I was saying for Aries, because it's in the 6th house, apologies. We also need to be careful of increased sensitivity to everything. So all allergens, pollutants, chemicals, drugs, makeup, food, everything, anything that can cause us some kind of reaction, it's more likely to do so now over the next 4 weeks. Now, so because the 6th house also represents colleagues and employees or pets and so on, it is possible that something is coming up with them. With Neptune there, unlikely, it's very likely that you'll be dissatisfied with work. And so maybe you're looking for a change of pace at work or a new job. Who knows? It's also possible that maybe your colleagues are keeping a secret from you, or just are not being entirely honest with you. So again, trust your intuition. The truth is there if you just pay attention to it. Scorpio, or Scorpio rising, or Scorpio moon. So this is all happening in the 5th house of creativity, children, hobbies. and romance. So with Neptune there and Venus there, there's a lot of focus on that this month. So romance, this could be either somebody new that you meet, or this could be reaching a new level in an existing relationship. But what this tells me, though, that because Neptune is there, it tells me that it's possible that you are not seeing this person realistically. So maybe you're looking at the situation with rose-tinted glasses. And sorry, this is the allergy I was talking about. Apologies. So it's very possible that you are completely blinded by this person. It's you're feeling a lot of wonderful feelings, but you're possibly idealizing them a little bit and giving over your power to them. So it's important to ask yourself pretty much constantly if this relationship and this person are really healthy and good for you. So think, if it was a different person, would I think the same of them? If another person behaved the same way, what would I think? What would I do? How would I react? And also, if you struggle to find, any faults in this person on the relationship, that's a clue, perhaps, that you're not being unrealistic, because there's always a shadow side, as perfection doesn't exist and all of that. So work on strengthening your connection at a deep soul level with this person, and also work on trusting your gut instinct, which actually, as a Scorpio, you never get it wrong. I think it's very strong with you. So it's also a time of great creativity. It could be a time of having children, conceiving perhaps, or it's something to do with children as well, doing something new with children, or a new hobby, a new artistic pursuit. Apologies. Okay, so Sagittarius. This is happening in the 4th house, so very important. The 4th house is about origins, home, family, living situation, roots, ancestors. So are you thinking of literally making some change in your living situation? Are you do you think that maybe you're giving too much to your family or the people that live with you? Do you think that you're being taken advantage of, or do you feel drained at home? Maybe is it time? Are the relationships, at home, kind of like disintegrated, dissolved, but you're still holding on to them? So this is, maybe this is the time to revisit all of this and ask yourself if this is, if this situation that you're in now is right for you. So this is also a time to try and work more on your work-life balance. You may want to spend more time with your family, whether it's a family or it's a tribe or it's, whatever family means to you. It may be a time in which you want to open up emotionally more, but maybe you struggle. It's difficult to understand your own incredible ocean of emotions. So why not express yourself through some creative means? Like, for example, it could be writing, poetry, singing, painting, sculpting, acting, whatever it is. Allow this the expression of your true self through art and creativity. So this is a time as well for you to connect with your past, your roots, your ancestors, and also understanding what home and nation and country means to you. Your psychological foundations are changing, and you want to be, you want your psychology, your psyche, to be more spiritually secure, more connected to your emotional self. And because otherwise, you're going to feel untethered, basically. Capricorn, this is all happening in the 3rd house. This is the house of intellect, communication, writing, speaking, podcasting, learning, rewiring the mind. Sorry. So with Neptune there, it's possible that, you know, you've had difficulty expressing yourself, being understood, or understanding others as well, communicating in general. And so focusing can be difficult, or maybe, you know, your regular communications are a bit boring. You're finding it boring at the moment. So, and because your imagination is in overdrive, it's important that you take a break from your normal day-to-day communications and you know, your emails, your DMs, and all of these things, your phone calls and so on, that maybe, you know, are taking, basically, they don't satisfy you anymore. So it's time to work with your imagination and with your intuition. It's time to become creative, and maybe, why not start something, you know, again, something artistic, like we said before. So maybe you could do some music. Maybe you could send somebody a playlist, or maybe you could do some poetry or some painting. Again, you know, all of these things. Just go out there and try something new, a new way of communicating with the people around you. And, you know, you will be surprised at how happy people will be to receive this new, you know, enhanced you, essentially, and your communications. Again, with this transit and the next 4 weeks, intuition, intuition, intuition. Listen to your gut. What your gut is telling you is very important. Aquarius and Aquarius rising, or moon. This is happening in the second house of values, resources, feeling resourceful, money, financial resourcefulness. So, but also self-worth and self-esteem, because these are all, you know, go hand in hand often. So this is telling me that, you know, your disposable income has actually been a little bit unreliable, let's just say. And so, and now the next 4 weeks are really about bringing in, you know, more more earnings, more money into your life. And it could also be a time of, you know, an important new purchase or investment that brings you joy. So the next 4 weeks, I would say, become especially aware, especially cautious around your finances. Stay grounded, because it's so easy to run away with, you know, dreams of a future or whatever this object or item can do for you that you want to buy. And you know, make sure that you know, you do the smart thing, I suppose, to keep rainy day funds, and you know, just because change is possible, and you need to have a budget, you need to follow it through to get what you want. You need to do, you know, you need to be safe, and you need to feel safe. It's about feeling safe, feeling abundant, feeling resourceful. So be careful, because there's a tendency this month to just throw it out into the wind. This transit with Neptune there, which is obviously ongoing, is also about releasing any unhealthy attachments to money, what money means to you, what possessions mean to you. And it's more about finding a spiritual connection to them. So you could use your money to do good things for the world. Could be like donating to charity, or helping a neighbor or a relative through college, whatever. And or basically, or even quite simply, doing things that can enrich you, so it can give you this sense of abundance and resourcefulness, but not just through money. It could be like new skills, for example, or so learning something new, or traveling, which is, you know, experiences that fill your soul and that give you a sense of abundance at soul level, and so on. So help, you know, work on that. Try to work also on your sense, you know, confidence, your sense of confidence, which can really help you attract more abundance into your life, and improve your security this way. And finally, Pisces, this is basically the new moon is happening in the first house for Pisces. This is the most important house because it's the house that represents you, whether in looks, physically, appearance, could be the health, or it could be just life path and direction. So everything really depends on that initial point in Pisces, the ascendant. Now, this is a time of great change and transformation for you. This is the month where you're going to really take your life head on. And you're going to feel charismatic, intuitive, compassionate, more than usual. And people are going to be pretty much wowed by you this month. There's a different energy about you that comes across. And because we have all of these planets in Pisces and therefore in your first house, you're going to become very aware of what you need to feel more fulfilled on a personal level. It could be personally, it could be relationships, it could be professionally, or even home, because this is one of the angles of the horoscopes, and the angles are real, basically the coordinates of your life, everything important in your life, the columns that support your life. There will be opportunities, there will be good things coming your way with Venus there, and also with Pluto supporting this. But be careful as ever not to be deceived and manipulated, because unfortunately there are people that take your generosity of spirit as to advantage, basically to take advantage of it. As ever for you, this is not something that you need to be reminded of. This is a great time for developing your spirituality further, to connect to your intuitive self, and to do more to help others. But always remember to build some boundaries to protect yourself when you do that, because you just tend to give selflessly, and then you forget about number one. So this is a reminder, you are number one, take care of number one, so you don't run on empty, even when you help others. This is a time of great intuition, enhanced intuition, so listen to your guts, and just have confidence in yourself, because with confidence comes success. And so I hope you find this useful, and let me know in the comments if you do, and if something that I've said is already happening or taking shape, and what sign that would be, and if you have any other questions. So we now have time for any questions that you might have. So are there any questions? Does anybody want to talk with me right now? So Sarah, go. Sarah, you have to go online then. I'll send you the link. You got the link, yeah? Oh no, actually, I got it. You're live. Hello, Sarah. Thank you. Thank you.
So you went sign by sign, and I just want to ask, does this apply to our sun sign, ascendant, or moon? Where should we be looking at?
Okay. So the best way to approach this would be to look at it from the perspective of your sun sign or zodiac sign or ascendant. So I would prefer the ascendant or rising sign, because the ascendant is really the beginning of your true horoscope. So you may be, an Aquarius, for example, by zodiac sign, but if your ascendant is in Pisces, then your life unfolds like it unfolds for a Pisces, more so than an Aquarian, unless you have a lot of planets in Aquarius, But for most people, because then the ascendant of rising sign is where you divide the sky into 12 sectors of your life. And so you have the first house, which is you, your personality, and so on, starting in Pisces. Then the second house would be Aries, so in terms of values and money, you would have Aries type attitudes. And then the fourth house would be, for example, let's assume it would be Sagittarius. I don't know, I can't remember now. But basically, you would have you in the home on the home front, you will behave like a Sagittarius, and so on and so forth. So, and this is different for Pisces ascendant or rising versus Aquarius. For Aquarius, it would be different signs in these particular houses. So it's really important to understand where what sign is in each house, and that differs depending on your ascendant or rising sign. So that's why I always recommend that to when you read the the horoscope in the papers, which obviously is very controversial because it's so generic that it cannot possibly work 100%. Always look at your ascendant more than your zodiac sign, because it will tell you a lot more. It will be more reliable in my experience. Okay, you're welcome. And thanks, Charlotte, for saying yes. And Dawn as well. Oh, I like it. Thanks, Dawn. Thank you very much. Joanne, having lots of mystical experiences with these cycles. 6 houses about work and service, and I'm evolving and growing and learning as an energy healer. That's perfect, Joanne. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. And then Charlotte, can the Pisces new moon also affect my Gemini in Saturn? Saturn Gemini in the 10th house? Oh, yes, absolutely. Now, we would have to look at exactly what degree Saturn is in Gemini. But essentially, yeah, this new moon and Neptune are absolutely kind of squaring it. And also it's telling us that so Neptune is trying to dissolve Saturn. So whatever structures you've got going on at the moment in your career, it's being dissolved. There's an urge to dissolve it. So that is what this is saying, really. So that's a good thing. Just be careful how you go about it, because you can throw everything out of the window and be left with nothing at the end of it. So hopefully not, but there is the risk of that, and there's a pull to change what you do in your life or with your life. Hope that helps. Thank you, everybody. Any other questions? I can't scroll down, so I can't see all of the questions. Is there anything I've missed? No. Okie dokie. So I hope you found this useful. If you got any more questions, okay, interesting, Charlotte. Thank you. Thank you for confirming. And hope you can, I'm sure you can work it out. So if you have any more questions, let them come through now. And because I'm going to be around for another couple of minutes. And if there are no questions, we can say goodbye. I actually wanted to show the last page, which was always, which was nice. Let's see if I can show it as well from current slide. Okay. So very useful. Great. Thank you for letting me know. And can you see that? This is in case you would like to get in touch with me. There are many ways to get in touch. I would love it if you could follow me on YouTube. Oh, thank you so much, Dawn. Grazie. Okay. So Charlotte, maybe 2 degrees of Gemini is a little bit early, but you still feel the effect anyway. So it's still affecting you. So there's still this urge of changing. So if you want to get in touch, there are a million ways of doing so. I will show this. So you probably know that already. I'm available pretty much everywhere. I spread myself thinly. So you can find me on my website, sparkastrology.com. You can find me on YouTube, of course. Pretty much everywhere I'm Spark Astrology. The only exception is Instagram, where I didn't get in there fast enough, and somebody got, so I am sparkastrology_com. So you can find me there, you can message me there, you can get in touch for everything, Facebook, Instagram, and so on. I would love to hear from you. I always do. I always love, having conversations with you all, and so do get in touch. And I'll see you next time. Okay, and thank you very much for all of you who've taken part and who've commented, and you know you've made it worthwhile. So much love to you. Remember to love yourself first. Remember that we are love beings, and you know, trust that and trust your intuition. This is what this new moon is about. See you next time. Mwah. Bye. Bye, everybody. Bye.